Good morning, everyone. Again, with you is the Knowledge Empowers podcast. With you today is me, Kat. 안녕하세요. Then we have Kolaj.
Čaute, good morning.
We have Barush.
Hello.
And we are in a professional studio today, which is unbelievable. There are lots of lights. It's
Blinding.
actually very blinding. That's why I'm like this. Last time you've started with like development, and that's what we should open up today, is the schooling system.
Yeah. What kind of schooling system do we have today, and how it impacts the society, and what would you change in the schooling system?
I know that there are some efforts to change bits and pieces now. Right now, there is the change when it comes to educational system a bit, psychological system to have this more appropriate psychological help, and these efforts are there, but that's not enough. Not yet. So, yeah.
And we need younger teachers,
Mm-hmm.
like in their 40s and much younger.
Well, it's not just about young, like a little bit different mindset. Like sometimes now having this very young sister, but she's just learning to write. She just started 2 months ago going to school, and she's like, she can already write by herself before she started school. And I told her few letters, and
Chinese letters.
No, just yeah.
Okay.
So, and I asked her, like, did you show it to your teacher? She said, I cannot. I asked why you cannot show it to her. She was writing beautifully, like very, very nice. And she said, we are not allowed to practice things that we haven't learned in classes yet, because we can learn some bad things, like bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, like, what kind of teacher must you be to prohibit people from learning, even if it's not the right way? So it's still learning, right? So I think also it doesn't mean if you have a young teacher, it will be much better.
No, I mean from young. So when I was in high school, my teachers were in their 40, 45 to 50. And when we worked in my previous company, and we used to go to visit this school to speak to the students, the same teachers were there, but this time they were like 60, 70. And you saw there is no energy anymore. Whereas when they were teaching me, they were full of energy and they worked with us. But now you just saw these old tired people. And the generation gap between the students and those teachers were just huge. And you could see that they don't even trying to understand each other. And they didn't have that willingness nor energy. It was like, let me just get myself into retirement and I'm done.
I have I think, unique experience with this. I went to the same high school as my mother and my father. And I had some of the same professors as they had. So...
Did they have energy still?
Actually, some of them, one was very good one.
From the whole school, one of them.
There were, of course, a lot of new teachers, right? But there are some old ones that were better than the new ones, right? Because of the experience, and that I feel they were the people who went to teaching profession because they really wanted to.
They loved it.
Yes, they really wanted to share the knowledge and pass it to the next generation. But of course, again, I think it's more about their attitude than the age. Depends.
Attitude and the environment, because like you and that's when I was at the high school, we were also asking about what's the salary of our teachers, and how big is it right now. It's not really bigger since that time, unfortunately. So I can't imagine being like a single person teaching students and have my own apartment, car, living, and everything like that, because I wouldn't be able to actually pay for
Afford
it.
it.
The costs are too high to be a single teacher. when it comes to like a single, I mean like individual person living in a flat and everything like that. So that's why I can only empathize with the people who also do and educate themselves to be a teachers, but then they don't end up in really like schools and like public sector teaching people, because the costs are too high for them to actually afford it, and they rather go for the private or some other companies or something like that and do that, because that's where money are still the motivator there, you know. Like if I can't survive, if I'm hungry, I'm not gonna teach kids, you know. So my motivation got really out of the question.
But I was really thinking, and I wasn't thinking more on elementary or high school. I was thinking more on university, that if I would be the dean, and I don't know how the school system works, but hear me out. So I would have professors who cover up a subject. I would literally search in my area about good speakers that are out there that you could invite for doing a session or an event. Then I would collaborate with companies, speak with the companies. What are the talents you're looking for? I have the talents. Bring me some of your people that could do some sessions there, and therefore, if you connect it, you have your future pipeline for your jobs. And I would literally like put together these bits and pieces to get what you want to get. I don't know whether it's possible or how the system whole works, but that's what I was thinking of. And that way you could get better collaboration between the companies and the universities, especially when you're searching for your future employees.
I also see this kind of like mismatch between what companies want nowadays and what schools teach, especially in values and attitude, right? So in attitude, companies are going for like, it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to try new things, it's okay to deviate from the prescribed rules. But the school is the opposite, right? So like, you must do what I taught you and what I told you to do.
Yeah, there is only one correct answer to that, to solve. You can't cooperate, you need to do everything on your own, you can't do mistakes.
Like this little sister is a very good example, because she is young, right? Her mind is not spoiled yet. And I remember...
Spoil her.
And she had this, like, one of the first homeworks for writing was just like doing the lines.
Oh yeah, reverse.
Just lines, like in the same angle, doing them. And she was supposed to do them on 2 pages. One was like, there is this like template or example showing you what the lines should look like. That's the 1 page. But the previous page was like, okay, do the lines. They are the rain, and they were like nice clouds pre-drawn already. And the exercise was like, fill in the rain and color the clouds and the umbrella and such stuff. And my sister, she after a while, she started to be bored by just drawing the lines, and she started to draw lightnings, hearts. And her mother is a teacher. And she came there and she was like, what are you doing? You're supposed to draw the lines. And I told her to the mother, like, I think she's really far already beyond the lines. She can already write letters. And I remember sister's face. She looked at her mom like, why are you doing this to me? And looked at me like for approval. Can I finish my hearts? So like this is also like telling me like my different approach as someone who was a trainer in a company, like trying to support this like creativity. Like I had very different approach than her mother, who was a teacher in a public school. So yeah, that's very different. I think the values and attitude are very different.
Yeah, I have 2 things to touch on that. Like you said, this drawing the lines, and there is a tight line or small line between the practice and how much you need to drill something into yourself, and when can you become creative, because you need to know the basics. For example, even when you're driving the bicycle, you don't just go, first of all, like sit on the bicycle and you drive and you go whatever sideways and you start to touch the, you know, like when you're going to some curves and put yourself on the ground, like with the motorbike, which you were showing up. That's not what you do the first. So you need to first drive and learn that. So the question is, where is the practice line and or the drill part, and where is the fun part? And I like what I've heard it on one of the TEDx videos, and there was a graph and a lot of dots on it. And what I dislike about the school system is that when you see these dots and you imagine students and suddenly one dot is above. The school system here right now is not about how we get everyone to the deviation, to the better person, but how we get the better person to be more general one. So like, don't, like you said, don't go there, because, you know, the general, everybody else is on a different line. You can't go ahead. So that's the thing. Like, but you need to be a good teacher to find out what's the limit and how to balance it, so that the kid is fine and it's far behind. It could be far behind, but then to use the energy someone else, so that the other group can actually catch up with the girl. And what you were mentioning, and I'm getting now 2 steps back about schools connected, how you imagine the school. It's happening. It starts to happen. For example, Otvorená hra. Hey guys. Otvorená hra.
What an advertisement!
Yeah. Well, now put the brand logo here. No. So I know that the thing is, it's happening on a level of non-profit organizations, and they are doing a huge chunk of work here for that. So when it comes not just to Otvorená hra, but to other companies, like Juniors Achievement, I think that those are the guys as well, who I had the privilege to work on when I was a kid as a student, to have my own company, to open my own company, and they teach you like something what the basics is, and they connect you with the companies. Right now, Otvorená hra is working on several projects like that. When we are in the high schools, we are training kids, and our role is that we are teaching kids how to cooperate, the soft skills, the softer part of the project management, of how to work on a project. But there are companies involved like Visio and other companies, which are there with their own projects, with their kids, with their own project managers, working on a real project. So it's already like, okay, you grow up, you know the skill, and you can go to the company. They can directly hire you. So it's there. It's not that huge part of the school system yet, but there is a shift going on. But right now, the huge thanks goes not to companies, but to non-government organizations, the non-profit organizations, which connect these two worlds, which is really hard, because you need also the school which is willing to do so.
We do the same in current company. There is guys prepare like a entire program for high schools, and even with the previous company, we went to universities. I know it's happening, but
the amount of it, right?
The amount is still too small, and when I see it, when I have my mentees at work, and I'm trying to unblock their minds, like focus on your skill, on your strength, build that, and start searching for a job that you really like and you enjoy, that everything keeps changing. But if you do a job that you absolutely hate, how much performance are you giving there? And it's the same, you go to Bila or any grocery store and you have the lady behind the cashier, and when she's like super angry,
super annoying. Yeah.
I don't even want to go there and pay. So, but if you have a person there who just enjoys it, like I would definitely, if I would have a grocery store, I would go for any people who are on retirement and like, do you want to do some part-time job and just to be among of the people? Do you like it?
Then you will have young people complaining like old people are taking our jobs. But when you see the young people there, they're like...
exactly. Exactly.
Very annoyed.
I would search really more for like, search for something that you really like, or at least you enjoy one part. Because once you join the company or anything, and then you start searching, this is the strength I really want to build. And you start supporting either diversity groups or maybe the company has something like this, like education for others. And that's where you start seeing yourself and you start building your skills, opportunities come that you can have that as your primary job.
That's tough, you know, because then what if nobody wants to do that job? Nobody wants to be a cashier. You know, like if I can be an economist or project manager and earning much better salary than a cashier, why should, like, you know, that's a really tough decision when it comes to do some boring, unwanted job, you know.
But there are people, I still believe there are people who like to do, because imagine you're already on retirement, but you don't want to sit at home. I would do some part-time job. And me as an extrovert, I would go as a cashier. I would have so much fun. Hey, what's up? How are you? So
I don't know, that's what I hate when the cashier talks.
Then
Like, can you just move it along? Like, thank you, here's what I...
yeah, but it really, you know, it's like, I believe that if you search for something that you like and you enjoy, you will have people, but many people go either at the beginning, yeah, you need to have money, that's true. But then you have so many unhappy people. Yes, they have money, but they are not even enjoying the money. What's the point?
Are they not?
No, I don't think so, because they are so unhappy.
They're enjoying the money, but not life.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like you're spending 8 or more hours at some place fully unhappy. Sorry, for me, that the money are not worth it. It's just not worth it for me. Why would I be super sad, super frustrated for 8 hours?
Because you feel helpless and you don't have a choice to feel happy, you know? Like that could be the
Yeah,
reasoning
it could
there.
be a feeling of being trapped.
Yep.
But you gave me money, so I'm taking really literally that one. So search something that you love, you enjoy, your strength. Search for mentors and this is the part that how come you studied 18 or 26 years at school, which is it's a lot, and then you come to company that you actually don't know anything, nothing. Company needs to invest another at least year to two till they get something out of you. What for did you study for these many years? And then we are trying to teach you, search for a skill, something that you absolutely love, you enjoy, start building that particular skill, work on it, gain as much experience on it, and then the opportunities opens up. But you've just spent 26 years at school. And that's where it doesn't match at all. That's a really lots of years.
Well, I saw, I don't want to say study, I don't think it was actually a scientific study, but there was kind of like a survey. And they found out like after like 4 years, after finishing the university, basically the knowledge becomes irrelevant. So that's how much it lasts, like your 20 years of study. Well, of course, the elementary school gives you knowledge for the rest of your life, but like what you learned in the past 4 years in the university, you have for next 4 years, and that's it. If you don't update your knowledge, then that's why, like many people think that I'm against like higher education universities, but it's not really against the knowledge or learning. Actually, I love learning. It's just against the system. Like, so I think what you learn in university, how much really, like, you're the only person who actually attended university, but like,
Attended, but not finished.
Didn't you have a semester?
no, I have 2 years of postgraduate, meaning like after high school I went 2 years.
I have a college degree.
But I think it doesn't matter how long you went there, but you went there. Like if you look at the knowledge they try to pass to you, of course it depends on the university, right? But how much of it you'd think would be useful today to you?
That's a really cool question, and I'm not sure if it's really touchable with me because I were in a totally different environment than I studied for because I went for physics.
No.
I went for physics and then I tried since I didn't succeed there. And there was one teacher the first semester told me like you shouldn't try that, you should go somewhere else. And I didn't listen. I didn't listen, although it was a really great feedback. Thank you. I should have listened. But I stayed there for 4 years, and then I tried to pass at least the first degree, the bachelor part. But yeah, it didn't work. Surprise, surprise. And afterwards, I was like, yeah, maybe I could use this in a bit more softer environment. So I went for the crisis management, where it was about the natural disasters and all that stuff. And there I decided, like, no, I don't want to keep up with this bullshit. Sorry. So I went for really like an environment or the studies which I don't work with right now. I'm totally in a soft environment, soft skills and all this stuff. So in a leading people, so it doesn't match up. But if I would stay with the physics, I would say that a lot of rules, math, and everything like that would still count up to me. And I think that there is this, I would say, this like what you were describing, like, okay, so maybe some knowledge needs to be transferred more frequently, or there is this four years gap. I think that there are universities or systems which there are longer period terms valid. Like for example, medicine doesn't go that quickly away.
Actually, doctors, they have to learn a lot.
They have to learn a lot. Yep, they have insane system for this. So that's one of the things. The other one is, for example, math and all the science stuff. I think that you go a lot years to actually change something or discover something new. Like like we have now this actually fifth type of matter. If you haven't catch up yet.
Fifth what?
Fifth state of matter. Like you have liquid, solid, gas, plasma, and now there is a fifth state, new one discovered like recently, like a month ago, which wasn't yet like named or described, but people are just finding out what to do with that. So how to apply it. So there are things which can be combined, but I believe that there are things really like young departments like psychology and neuroscience, which is swamped with new findings each year. Like you can study up something new. So I think it depends. Which you choose.
Exactly what we are talking about right now. Like none of us has university degree, yet each and every one of us keep studying, developing themselves. We have lots of certificates of different areas. Because also for us, it took time till we found ourselves, like, what do we like?
This is another thing that I don't like about the system. Like, I have a younger brother as well that is like finishing high school right now and is in the process of choosing.
A lot of siblings.
Yes, I have 3 siblings.
Very yes. Like you can see that.
Same father, different mothers.
Star Wars saga, sorry.
Okay. I will use this in the future. Well, he is trying to choose his university because he's in a grammar school, so there is no way he's not choosing a university, or at least it wouldn't be a very fortunate choice. So, and I can see how difficult for him this is. And I actually had to make this decision, or made this decision when I was finishing elementary school. I don't know how about you guys. I think you as well. Anybody who
you have gymnasium?
Yeah, I have grammar school as well, and I went for physics because I wanted to build up my lightsaber from plasma. So that's all. Star Wars is strong with me. It didn't work out. I was close. I was close. I had my plasma. I had really like all stuff, but nah.
Well, yeah. So I think it's so early in your life. Even I think around this time, around 30 something, I would be able to choose what I want in my life, what I want to do. And this is already after doing stuff that I chose to do. But it was many times just like searching for stuff that I enjoy and finding myself in it. But how is supposed to 15 or 18-year-old person know what they want in life? there are, I think, very few people like that in that age that already know exactly how they want to spend their life in the future.
That's why I like it. Like in Australia, you have elementary school, then you have, how did you call grammar school. So you finish by 18, and then from 18 you making choice, either you stop studying and you go work, or you go to college, or you go to university, or you go to college and then university. So it's still like, I remember I didn't even choose my high school. It was my mom, because I literally didn't know. Like 14, like I don't know what I want to do. In 18, you still don't know what to do, but at least you are like, okay, but you would have more general knowledge by 18 that maybe this is what I like, maybe that, etc. And like in Australia, you still can pick college. College is where you get some practical stuff, and then okay, and you go to, let's say, uni. I still prefer that part, but like you've said, it's really more about getting the experience, and then at the end, I am a jeweler maker, so I can make like jewelry.
How often do you make them?
Exactly.
Every day.
Never.
You made one, I think, like a couple of years ago. No?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
No. Didn't touch the silver, gold the last 2 decades. Okay. Yeah, like really lot. Unless I go to my schoolmates' shop, and then I go, oh, I remember this, I remember that, but that's it. And until I found like I love teaching, but I know I cannot go to an elementary school, high school, university, not only for the money, but also they would not hire me because I don't have a university degree. But companies, they prefer, like, you love to do it, like you're good at it, just do it. And that's the system. Try to find something that you love, you enjoy, go for it.
Yeah, that's again, I think one of the issue of our schooling system, that we ask our kids like what you want to be, or who you want to be, or what you want to do when you grow up, but we don't give them the space to actually find out, because you need to learn these are all the mandatory, and maybe you can choose some area later in the high school, like, okay, so maybe you can take more of the economic stuff or more about the sociology stuff or whatever, but it's not ever like, okay, go and try, go to some companies and see what's the life is like there, and discover it. And that's why I like that right now some schools are having this school psychologist, psychology directly in the school, and they are doing some programs with the kids when it comes to choosing the future jobs or whatsoever, that they do the assessments with them. So that's what I like about it, that they actually do some surveys. They need to fill out a lot, like that's like 20 pages, do some IQ tests as well to see what's working, what's not, and they give them assessment. But again, it's just an assessment to create your self-awareness. It's not there like, okay, you are good at graphics, you will be a designer, there you go, and ciao. Here is your submission for your next school, and you go and apply.
They find out, like, I don't even know if they find out what you're good at, but there is this system. But then they give it to your parents, and the parents, no, my son will be manager.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas if they would be, I don't know, a carpenter, they would actually make more money than being a manager. Because, guys, we don't have any carpenters right now. So.
Please. If you are there, they earn really nice money.
Really nice money. Really nice money.
But still, we are not like in China or India, you know, like there are two options. You can be a doctor or a lawyer, you know. There is
either or a software engineer. Now, that one applies as well.
Okay, cool.
You have three options. And I'd say like this, so guys, keep educating yourself. It's very important. That's why we have Knowledge Empowers. If you have a topic you want us to cover, let us know. Otherwise, I'm going to say 수고하셨습니다.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This podcast represents our own opinions, experience, and our own ideas. We do not represent any official statement from our employers, and this is not their official channel representing the company.